Hello, family. 1111 Unified here. I'm so excited to be interviewing this powerful woman, Sheva Carr. Oh, she has such a list of credentials. She's from the Fiera Foundation, Heart Ambassadors, Heart Mastery. She's co-director of the Heart Math Heart Care. And Sheva, I'm just so grateful that you're here today. Can you please tell us who you're being in the world right now?
Oh my gosh. Well, I love it that you changed my title to co-director of Heart Math Heart Care. That
Oh, did I say
totally
heart care instead of health care?
I think that's it.
There you go.
Who am I being? I'm just here to take care of the heart that lies at all being.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that.
But,
Thank you.
I mean, and then that expresses, as my husband would say, in all kinds of practical infrastructure in the world. But the essence of it is to love what's here and have compassion when I don't.
Exactly, right? That is very important. Well, beloved, I wanted to start with one of the questions that I just really like to ask all of our contributors. What does seeding our new earth mean to you?
Mm, I love this title. I'm going to pause with it. In fact, maybe I'll invite everyone to pause with me because I feel like each time I practice the heart math skill of quick coherence, which we could do together right now if you want.
Sure. Yes.
I feel that I'm putting consciousness seeds into the soil of the collective electromagnetic field for the cultivation of a new earth in the sense of how we feel, how we behave, how we perceive one another and treat each other. And so obviously the earth is the ground, the dirt, the soil, and I am passionate. And there's, let's see if I can even show you over there. That's my compost bin over there, which you can't see.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm a passionate earth maker. I love making dirt. I collaborate with about 5,000 red wrigglers over there to make new earth every day. I love them. And if people don't know, red wrigglers, what as they transform what is my trash into fertile soil in which we're growing squashes and flowers and obviously redwood trees and all kinds of things here. They have, one of the things that makes red wrigglers unique is they have 5 hearts.
Wow.
So there's 25,000 hearts over there in that little bin, transforming and transmuting trash into fertile potential. And our hearts have that capacity too, but in a different way. So I invite us to focus together, if you want to do this with me.
Yes, please.
Our attention in the area around the heart, the chest area. Imagining the breath is flowing in through the heart and out through the heart. Breathing a little slower and deeper than usual. Some people find it supportive to count as you breathe in and to count as you breathe out so that the inhale and exhale have an even rhythm. And what that does is it balances the autonomic nervous system and pulls us out of survival mode. So part of the new earth that I feel that we're seeding is through what I call the gamification of survival mode, where we move from surviving to thriving. And each time we pull our own nervous system out of survival mode and hit the switch on thriving mode, we're seeding in the collective nervous system that possibility. And it's as simple as focusing in the heart and breathing in through the heart and out through the heart. And with that heart-focused breathing, this becomes the quick coherence technique from heart math when we plant the seed, if you will, in that thriving, fertile soil of a balanced autonomic nervous system, a renewing feeling. Now, in actual soil regeneration, which I know you have kissed the ground here, and I'm excited to talk about that side of it as a little earth maker in my backyard. But we have some bigger projects that we've been inspired to create in collaboration with Kiss the Ground. That regenerative feeling is what regenerates the soil of our being.
Yes.
Hormonally and immunologically. So we are essentially, the substance of who we are is made of the earth. And when we regenerate ourselves neurologically, endocrinologically, immunologically, we are a part of the regenerative infrastructure of agriculture and beyond. So you can breathe a feeling like gratitude or compassion, or to your point, heart care, which turns out to be significant for our health care.
Yes.
And breathe that feeling. And if it's hard to access, then compassion for yourself works. As you breathe in through the heart and out through the heart. And you could just notice any changes that happen in your body, emotions and thoughts that might be clues as to what those seeds of regenerative internal agriculture, if you will, in your own physiology want to show you. So that's what I do. This was quite a modified quick coherence technique with some twists. The simple steps of it, as we teach it at HeartMath, are heart-focused breathing and the activation of a renewing feeling. That's one of 45 HeartMath skills that we integrate into our work at Heart Ambassadors and HeartMath Healthcare in vast different types of environments to seed a new world. On the front lines of large healthcare organizations, in violent conflict mitigation at the United Nations, in a variety of expressions of sustainable development in partnership with the Red Cross and disaster relief. But one of our projects is after watching Kiss the Ground myself, I had been seeking an avenue for adding heart to the climate crisis. And the whole idea of carbon sequestration and renewing the soil was so thrilling to me. A series of concurrent synchronicities occurred in which we began partnering with someone else you're going to interview for this Seeding Our New Earth series, Precious, in Zimbabwe. And she and I are partnering on a project to educate girls in Zimbabwe while regenerating the soil there on a 150-acre farm. And Precious has, so my nonprofit is funding that, and we're teaching her and those girls this heart-changing consciousness while also applying the Kiss the Earth principles in the farming practices there. So the inner and the outer become reflections of each other in terms of what's possible. And when we regenerate the earth, the sky is no limit.
Amazing. Yes. So the farm that you speak of with Precious, you're creating a food forest there?
So at the moment, it's in a very nascent stage, a seedling stage, where our goal is actually ultimately to have that kind of regenerative agriculture. And the purpose of the produce production is to empower the local community, obviously with food security, but also the surplus can be sold to pay the tuition to send their girls to school.
Amazing.
And there's a saying at the United Nations, educate a girl and you educate the village, because girls tend to come back and contribute to their society. So this touches on almost every single one of the Sustainable Development Goals from the UN. And really, you know, I don't want to steal the thunder from Precious, because we're her partners. We're her partners here, but I want to honor she's the lived experience on the ground. So what I would say in terms of why I'm here with you, Anistara, is that that project and hundreds of others have emerged from a deep listening to life, listening to the earth, and listening to my heart, which led me to listen to life and the earth.
Yeah.
And it's that listening, that quality of listening, and then acting on what you hear, that concert of the feminine listening and the masculine action, that has been the gardening tools I've used in adventure seeding the new earth garden we're building together.
Amazing. Thank you. Now, you said that you are working with Kiss the Ground in a certain way. Can you share that a little bit?
So we had the Kiss the Ground founder speak to my Heart Ambassadors community.
Amazing.
As part of our Thanksgiving last year. So almost a full cycle here coming, just a couple of weeks or a week off of when we screened Kiss the Ground to my nonprofit, and had Precious and the volunteers on the farm in Zimbabwe go through the online education provided by Kiss the Ground. And so we screened Kiss the Ground as a fundraiser through our nonprofit. And I'd be happy to share as a bonus to your community here, Anistara, our community on 11/11, the interview that we did with about, you know, the Kiss the Ground. There's so much richness in that. So we're passionate about it and committed to. And then my chief, he calls himself our chief gratitude officer. He's really our chief philanthropic fundraiser. So we've loaned his consulting to Kiss the Ground, or given it as a gift to help fund gather, is one of my fun gather.
I love that.
To facilitate the resources. And so I'm really thrilled that here you're giving me another opportunity through 11/11 Unified to nurture Kiss the Ground financially, since proceeds from this will also support that incredible work. We love it.
Yes. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, when I saw the film, I felt a deep calling to be a part of the solution. You know, they outlined the problem so well, so eloquently. It's very easy to understand. And then they map out several steps for a solution. And so the living soil is like the beginning of it, right? Because it keeps the carbon in the ground instead of in the atmosphere. So the no-till farming is a big aspect of it. And then the food forest, where it's actually living in symbiotic relationship with the livestock, with the bees, with the animals, and creating enough for everyone. And so I really feel like it's coming from an abundance perspective, which is so amazing. So I love the fun and the fundraising. The fundraising.
Yes, and the abundance comes from the sufficiency and sustainability of circular economies. And by that, I mean, there is no waste. Everything feeds something else.
Yeah.
And so it's a circulating of energy rather than a linear one-way track. And, you know, obviously I live in an actual forest, not just a food forest. And I frolic with my husband and my cats through this forest almost every day. And I'm in awe. Generative. Uh-oh, did I just lose my internet connection?
Just a tiny bit. You're good now.
I will stop moving my computer around trying to show you all the fun playground in my environment. But I'm really in awe of the intrinsic intelligence of resilience and renewal
Mm.
in the natural world. So 2 years ago, we had millions of acres burn all around us here, and were evacuated from this spot for 2.5 months in the California wildfires.
Yeah.
And every single plant here at our home, which survived temperatures on the ground of over 140 degrees at times in the fire,
Wow.
went without water in these extreme temperatures for over 2 months. We thought, we were sure everything had died. We were even calling not firefighters, but people behind the fire lines caring for infrastructure to see if we could get them to come and water our things.
Right.
And for all kinds of reasons, that was unrealistic, but my heart was going to the land. And everything survived. Even the
Amazing.
things that looked dead when we got here.
Yeah.
And many didn't. But the rose bushes all lost their leaves. We thought we'd lost them completely.
Mm-hmm.
Things like flowering trees, like our bougainvillea, within weeks, they all came back fuller than ever before. And to
Wow.
walk the fire zones and see the new life coming circularly from the resources of the life that gave itself to the renewal of new life. It's taught me so much about listening to and learning from the intelligence of the natural world,
Oh.
which my heart and your heart is a direct dial up to. Not even dial up, that's high speed Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's that reciprocity that happens, the cyclic cycles. And I feel like that's really another piece of learning how to come from the heart is when we cycle our energy and we breathe from the heart, it uplifts us. Like, as you said, you call in the renewing energies, right? So when I learned the heart math lock-in, it was about the renewing energies of care and kindness and compassion. And so you had this care coming from your heart for your plants. And you came back and they regenerated. I mean, that's just an amazing story. Thank you for sharing. Yeah.
I actually, speaking of kiss the ground, I visualized every day during the fire placing this forest in a holodome, we call it, of my heart's love. And I kept imagining getting to come back and kiss the ground and hug the house. And when we were finally allowed back here, it was nighttime, and my husband and I were in the middle of training a hospital in a certification. And so we left the certification and drove the hour from our essentially our evacuation shelter to and we stopped at Costco and got, I want to say, about 100 gallons, maybe it was more, so we're talking 50 of those 2-gallon
Oh, yeah.
water. Our water infrastructure here was destroyed and off at the time. So we loaded our car, literally filled to the gills with these water jugs to come save our plants. And at the time, we were doing hydroponic gardening, and we had all these hydroponic towers on our property. And magically and mysteriously, we had flashlights, and we got here, and I got to live my visualization. I hugged the house. And I rounded the corner, and it took my breath away, because the first thing I saw was a flowering begonia that needs a lot of water, and it was bursting with life.
Wow.
I have no idea how. I bumped into it and I gasped because I just assumed it would be. And then I took another step forward, and my flashlight illuminated on our deck that the tower gardens had not died, but they'd somehow managed to ration the water in their tubs. And we had pumpkin plants that had spread all across our deck in our absence. It was just, I've always had a hunger to hear the hum of the natural world and harmonize with it since childhood, really. The skills of the heart satiated that hunger and gave me a way to keep cooking the meal every day. And I have yet to be over full on that feast. Every day, nature and animals and my heart intelligence, but also the heart intelligence in all of life, like our connection, Anistara, teaches me so much. And it's such a joy to give, it's like, so I see people so hungering for a sense of purpose, value, and meaning in this life, and for love, looking for love. And I feel like heart meth in particular, and certainly all the modalities I have the privilege to share, but heart meth in particular is like, it's like a phone number to get in touch with all that. We're here, we've got this technology. How do I reach the divine? How do I get a hold of this? And then suddenly you have a phone number and it's like right here talking to you. So.
I'm just feeling your heart right now. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. I know how much good work you do in the world too. And I was hoping that we can dive into a little bit of what the Fiera Foundation shares with the world, what you offer there.
Wow, where to begin? So, really what happens when you get that, insta dial, the speed dial, when you get speed dial to your own heart, it alleviates your own stress. Certainly doesn't get rid of it. I can vouch for that, at least in myself. But it alleviates the personalization of stress, maybe is a better way to say it, and empowers the capacity to be resilient in the face of stressors, such that our own energy isn't so consumed just surviving. And we lift our gaze and go, wow, there's a world out here. And a lot of it, like this, is beautiful and cool and amazing. And there's also a lot of suffering and a lot of pain. And that thankfulness of having some sense of peace and relief in yourself almost automatically spills over into a thanksgiving. How can I help? How can I connect you with this speed dial that I've got? And so Heart Ambassadors is the place where we capacitize people with these skills. And as the gaze lifts, the Fiera Foundation is our charity through which we get the opportunity to be in this figure-8 relationship with people and animals and plants and places that need the love that we are. And they give us that exquisite experience of having the experience of being who we came here to be through service. So we have consultative status at the UN, and we work to bring this heart through practical means in service to all the Sustainable Development Goals. So the project in Zimbabwe, Butterfly Farms and Butterfly Kids, is one of our projects. We work with the Red Cross and disaster relief. I can't keep up with it. In fact, I was tasked yesterday with writing a biography for this event that I've been invited to. And as I was reading it, I thought to myself, No wonder I haven't had time to clean the house.
Yeah. Totally.
It, when
Oh.
you're so, it's just like, I think the heart of it is when we drop into our own heart. Each redwood tree, when it's alive, is nourishing thousands, if we count the microorganisms, of course,
Mm-hmm.
millions, if not billions of other life forms.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not counting,
Mm.
it's being. And in its natural life, it's nourishing all that is. We
Mm.
now know, of course, through the carbon sequestration and also through the what it does to our air and so many other things. And so you can trust that when you're in that lived experience of heart, the avenues of expression of it will open, and are many. We have it at the Fura Foundation. We currently
Mm-hmm.
have 11 domains of projects that have
Mm-hmm.
over time reached beyond, I think, 30 plus countries. And people might say, well, I don't have the money to do something like that. I'll tell you, our budget would be shockingly non-existent to most people, because the currency of our work is heart, not dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing what you can accomplish with that currency of love.
Mm-hmm.
So we have programs to end hunger and poverty, to reduce violence and build peace. Programs that, one of the things I'm so privileged to have been a part of recently is a neighbor of mine started a partner organization called Assert. He was rescuing animals here during our fire.
Mm-hmm.
And using drone technology and some of the other skills that he has. So many people had to leave their pets behind in the fire zone, devastatingly so.
Mm-hmm.
That would have crushed me. And
Mm-hmm.
so he came behind the fire lines and was saving animals.
Oh,
What
amazing.
he's done now is taken those skills and flown to Ukraine with a partner of his, using drone technology to locate and bring down animals that are stuck in buildings that have been bombed in Ukraine at high stories, where no human can get in the building because of
Mm.
the infrastructure damage. And he
Yeah.
brings animals down. Last I spoke with him on his last trip, in concert with our partnership, he's been, in the last trip, he rescued more than 50 cats,
Mm.
including a mother cat and all of her kittens. And he has been able to reunite some of them with their refugee families. And the ones he hasn't been able to reunite, he's rehoming here in the United States. He flies them back. I mean, and I will say this, I mean, I'm just sharing like what's top of mind in terms of what you get to care for when you care. And the thing about this, Anistara, is that, I used to overcare about these things. I used to look at the world situation, that, the murdering of women in Iran right now for taking off their hijabs, and feel like I don't belong in this world. I hate this world. Get me off this planet.
Oh.
That's a kind of overcare.
Mhm.
Until I learned, no, there's actually a story in the Talmud that was rewritten for modern times as it goes. It was an email meme for a while. The Talmud becomes an email meme. Welcome to 2022. You gotta love it. So, and in the email meme, the story is that there was a teenager, kind of like me, overcaring,
Mm.
who was horrified at the mistreatment of animals, and yelled out on her knees, I don't believe in God, because if there was a God, that God would never create this kind of suffering and do nothing about it.
Mm.
And then she heard audibly in her ear, but I did do something. I created you. that story combined with the heart math skills to teach me to manage my overcare into intelligent love and concern and action has translated each time I catch myself worrying about something. So I was worried about the animals in the Ukraine. I shift. So maybe we could all do this together and make it practical.
Please, because whoa, you were like preaching to me right now, girl.
With you.
Ooh, overcare. Yes. How do I manage to overcare, please?
Yeah. Well, here's the good news. The good news is if you overcare, it means you care. So I want to invite us all to consider something right now that we overcare about and refocus our attention in the heart. Imagining the breath is flowing in through the heart and out through the heart. Breathing a little slower and deeper than usual. Knowing our overcare are just those food scraps that I have in the fridge that we need to bring to the compost worms of the heart. Wise transformation station. So just give the energy of that overcare to the heart as we breathe in through the heart and out through the heart. And ask the heart and the spirit of love to help transform that incoherent heart rhythm pattern. That's all it is. It's a waveform of energy. That incoherent heart rhythm pattern of overcare into a coherent broadcast of our genuine love and care to that which we care about. Knowing along the pipeline of that coherence, the care gets there. Now, the trick here is to stabilize and maintain that and come back to it when you catch your own physiology going out of balance again. That's what overcare is. It's just caring so much that we get carried away and are willing to throw our own bodies out of balance, which doesn't help what we care about. But when we radiate that care, it renews us. And it renews the soil or the terrain of the electromagnetic field around that which we care about, drawing to it what it needs for its growth and well-being and thriving. And so, over caring about the animals in Ukraine, I radiated this care. I did the exercise we just did using quick coherence to quickly shift that overcare into the coherence of true care. And then voila, unexpectedly, my friend Ryan texts me and says, I'm going to Ukraine. Can you help?
Yeah.
It happens like that.
Yeah. It does. Thank you so much for that. I can't even begin to tell you how much that spoke to my heart, how much I needed to hear that, how much I needed to be reminded. It's like those practices that are just so simple that we forget them and how powerful and impactful they are. Just even going and sitting in a bathtub with some salt and like putting our feet on the ground. Like it's come up in so many of my conversations around seeding the new earth and really seeding it from within first. And so thank you. Thank you for that. I needed to burn a little bit of Palo Santo too. I was like, okay, clearing it. And you teach this, yes? And others do? Say that again. Go ahead, say it again.
I was just going to say, what is Palo Santo. Palo Santo grows from the earth, right? And we bring it into the air element through the fire, and it clears the fields.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, there's again, there's so much work that you're doing in the world. And I know that last year I had the opportunity to interview you and your partner. And so I wanted to include him in this space for the moment and maybe share a tiny bit of like what he's up to in the world right now. So.
That is so generous. Thank you, Anistara. I feel so lucky that I get to live my dharma or life's work or whatever you want to call it in concert with my life partner. So we have things we do, certainly. I don't know about separate from each other, but we're not Siamese twins. We are independent beings, but we are co-directors of HeartMath Healthcare. So we serve, and also the organizational division of HeartMath. So we are working, teaching some of these skills in a somewhat different language, maybe at times, than we get to use. We get to unveil more of our real selves in some ways here with you, honestly. But in very accessible languages in hospitals and corporations, governments, military, infrastructure, law enforcement, because really everyone has a heart and everyone wants to optimize their capacity and their life. Everyone wants to move from survival mode to thriving mode. And in that, everything you do, every career, every place that one lives can be a pathway to peace. And so we are also the co-directors of UN Peace Messenger Organization Pathways to Peace, and Robert, my husband, is on my board. So we have been doing a lot of work at the VA hospital system, helping veterans with trauma and staff and clinicians inside the VA incorporate these tools in the healing of the devastation to our population who has served in violent conflict, and working in hospitals really around the world in the post and some would say current COVID crisis, where frontline healthcare workers have suffered really immeasurably from that. And there is a global healthcare crisis for the frontline and a mass exodus of the global healthcare workforce. And so we come in to honor them, hear them, and give them tools for self-care and that they can share with their patients. And that has felt like very sacred work to serve those who serve. And we've been sort of our Rubik's Cube together. Our puzzle is how to meet the levels of need. And so we've created programs that can, for example, deploy to hundreds of thousands of healthcare workers at once. Because that's the need. In fact, the Surgeon General of the United States anticipates by the end of next year will be short 3 million jobs in the healthcare workforce. And that's a global issue, not just, that's the Surgeon General of the US. So, I've been pretty peppy in this interview. We're really working in the front lines and trenches of, through the Fiera Foundation, to your point earlier, and Robert sits on the board of that as well. So he's very active in a way in everything that I do. We have also projects to confront the issue of human trafficking. And so the heart has the capacity to bring its lightness of being, its hope, its true care, its transformational wisdom and power to the most dark and dense issues facing our world. And of course,
Mm.
here where it's one of the things I loved about Kiss the Ground, and Robert loved it too, we watched it together, is that the solutions are here.
Yeah.
But we have to dial into the heart to see them. Just like there's all this information now on the internet. You can Google. Robert and I actually love doing this all the time. We're like, anytime anything is going on, a word we don't understand, or we saw a new frog in our forest yesterday, and we get right away and we're Googling frog with
Look it up.
stripes. Exactly. I mean, come on, how cool is this? Like when I was a kid, that didn't exist. Just
encyclopedias.
Right. Literally, you had the person that delivered the updated Encyclopedia Britannica to your door every year, right? Oh my God. So now, like, the whole universe practically just feels like it's at our fingertips. I mean, I was Googling stuff about the cosmos yesterday and going, just mind blown about what we know now about black holes and quasars and all this stuff. So if you imagine you have Google, the original one, inside your own heart, and these solutions we're seeking as a society are waiting to be Googled in the heart of who we are. And that listening to our own intelligence and the intelligence of nature.
My goodness, thank you. Yeah, exactly. And the heart leads. The heart knows first. Our heart and our gut guides us before our logical mind before it even reaches our brain.
So certainly HeartMath has published science that actually demonstrates in the abstract of the paper exactly what you just said in a much briefer, wonderfully succinct summary. That's it. In fact, they measure, through the electrophysiology of information that the heart knows before the cognitive mind. But, and this is so fun, because the first place that published that research in Anistara was the Institute of Noetic Sciences. And HeartMath did a study to duplicate efforts, which is something that is common in the field of research. One place will publish research and then a third party will do it to see if they can recreate the same results to add to the field of knowledge. And so IONS said, yep, sure enough, the heart responds before the brain. And then there's also this change in skin conductivity. And for me, I look at that skin conductivity. You think when you go into survival mode and that fight or flight, and start sweating and tingling, right? That activation of the autonomic nervous system. And so HeartMath duplicated the study. Uh-oh.
You're still good. Keep talking. You're good. Keep talking.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Keep talking.
Are we back?
You're here. Keep talking.
Okay. So HeartMath duplicated the study.
Yeah.
And got the same results except one non sequitur.
Okay.
That was the skin conductivity didn't activate.
Oh.
And our director of research reached out to IONS and said, what did we do wrong? Or, not, what does this tell us? We didn't, our results didn't match. And the director of the study at IONS started to laugh and said, well, you weren't working with people who practiced HeartMath by any chance, were you? So here's the deal. And of course, the guinea pigs in the study here worked at our research facilities.
Right.
Practicing HeartMath. When we practice this self-regulation skill of shifting from the inner chaos of heart incoherence to that heart coherent state that we've been touching into today together, then we're less likely to expend and waste energy in the overcare of calling our inner 911 to go to the grocery store, if you will.
Yeah.
That survival stress. And that freed attention and the neurological changes it creates between heart-brain communication save us energy and give the cerebral brain the capacity to eavesdrop on what the heart knows, hear it sooner and more clearly, and up the ante of the chances that we can act on it.
Oh, wow.
So
that's so cool. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I would love to tell people like how do they, not only how did they get a hold of you and all that your work, and maybe you could share where people can reach you and Heart Math, and yeah.
absolutely. So well, I know that you have some of our websites, and actually there's a question for you, Anistara. If I give you a link to a free consultation offer, is there a way to provide that to your community?
Yeah, we'll put it in the freebie that's on the page for this interview.
Okay, great.
Sure. Do that.
So one easy way, because obviously this is a vast playground, is for people to sign up for a complimentary consultation with the Heart Ambassador community. And someone who is Heart Math certified, or it might even just be me if I have some extra time. So you could also, there it is, heartambassadors.com. You could go directly to the site or to heartmastery.com. And on both of those websites, you can request a free consultation, and it's really free.
Cool.
Truly unconditional. Like, we're not there to sell you anything. Let's be clear about that.
Yeah.
It's there to help guide you to your own heart. And it's there to open the world of heart that we live from, to explore, is there a place in that world that's home for you, and help you find that. So I hope you'll take us up on that. People who might want to volunteer with us or get involved in projects at the Fiera Foundation, visit us at fiera.org. That's F like fantastic, Y like yellow, ERA.org. There it is on the screen. And for those who are interested in, for example, our organizational work and healthcare work at HeartMath, you can find more information on that at heartmath.com. And but you could also reach out through any of those other channels, and we'll support you there. I do want to just briefly say that the leading edge, like, I'm always like learning, and Picasso said, I'm always doing that which I don't know how to do in order that I can learn how to do it. And so yes, that's what I say to that. Like, I'm so much more interested in learning what I don't know than reaffirming what I already know. And so the leading edge of my own current exploration, in the spirit of everything we've explored today, Anistara, is I'm so privileged to be co-teaching a class called Listening to the Lion Heart, which combines heart math science and polarity therapeutics with the work of P. Horsley, who would actually make a great interview for you someday, Anistara. I should connect the two. Cool. I'll send you her TED Talk. She is a renowned animal communicator. And so we are doing this class together to listen to that intelligence of the heart in the natural world and animals, and how that can help us co-create a new world with the animal and plant kingdom. And on October 4th, which is St. Francis of Assisi Day and World Animal Day, we did a shared meditation for free. I'll give you that too to post if people want to just receive that gift.
Amazing. Oh, thank you so much, Sheva, for your wisdom, your knowledge, your inspiration. You really, truly are. It's like a fully empowered, embraced in the heart woman of co-creation and collaboration. I mean, you just emanate. You're just so brilliant and gorgeous and smiley, and I just adore you. Thank you so much for being here. Really,
the love is mutual, and I am honored by this beauty that you mirror. And I will tell you, I'm all of it, like all of us. So, but I just have a lot of worms transmuting my trash.
Yep.
I don't have any
Exactly.
less trash than anyone else. What is it? Someone shared this quote with me recently that I love. Magicians don't have fewer problems. They just have more solutions to the problems they have.
Oh, yes, there you go.
May we
Well,
all
you
become
are
magicians.
certainly a magician, sister. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. And thank you everyone else for being here
Yes, thank you.
yeah, exactly. Sharing
It
this
takes,
field with us today.
it takes every compost worm in the bin to make the new earth. So it takes all of us. And Anistara, just from my heart, I love you. I
Love
love
you too.
you genuinely.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
I thank you for wanting to keep playing together.
More to come. Yes. All right, everybody. We hope you're creating a beautiful day. Bye for now.